Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast. This is season 4, episode 5, and I am coming live from Portland, Tennessee, of all places. Not Hendersonville, not Nashville, but Portland, Tennessee. So we are coming live from Paula Hernandez's house. That is my special guest, and I actually have a dachshund in my lap right now, my nephew Turk, and Ray Ray's in the house on Paula's lap. The other dachshund, he's got a little more hair on the body. So, we wanted to do this episode. I wanted to have Paula on for many seasons. Paula's like a second mom. So came down. We're actually doing a bonfire cookout, and we thought we'd get an episode in before we do the festivities and start partying. So Paula does a wide range of things. Paula's had a long EMS career, also done dispatch, done a number of things managing through EMS. She's also into paranormal, which me and Paula have always bonded on that. We actually, if you've listened to my paranormal episodes, Paula is a big part of my episode where I talk about the Pulaski ghost and all that shit. That shit was crazy, and rest in peace to Jay. And so pretty much talk about that. And then she's also a domestic abuse survivor. We'll talk about Portland, Tennessee. It's a place I've driven through now a few times, just coming here in the past year to visit Christine and Paula and the horses. And it's an interesting town. It's cool. It's a small town vibe. But we'll talk about that and dachshunds and a number of things. So, Paula, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you for having me. I'm doing good. Just a chilling. Glad you guys came out today. And, it'll be a fun show. I'm holding on to Miss Ray Ray in my lap.
Miss Ray Ray, yeah. Sorry I said a boy. Yeah, Miss Ray Ray, but yeah, Miss Ray Ray, sweet as can be, and it's very cute dachshund. And Paula has her Vibing with Sleazy T-shirt on, so I love that.
Right.
Love she's representing. She changed when we got here. So, but Paula, so I want to dive into your EMS career. So, how long have you done EMS life?
I've been in EMS life since 1992.
Okay.
Long time. Started out in Houston, Texas. That's where I got my first license. Moved to Ohio and did it in Akron, Ohio. Moved back to Texas, and here I am in Tennessee.
Where is it? Would you say has been the most? I guess not action, but crazy. Is that like here, or has it been? Was Akron wild, or was
it's definitely not here. I would have to say Houston, Texas was the craziest, but there was a lot of crazy in Akron.
Oh, really?
So I would say a half and half. I mean, Akron's a small town, but there's a lot of crazy stuff. We did body removals in Akron, Ohio. So I got to see all of the half cut in place bodies.
Oh man!
Had a guy one time that was in his trailer doing erotic asphyxiation in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
It was great. He got him. He was stiff as a board. And he had a smile on his face. He looked like Weird Al Yankovic.
Jesus Christ!
We had to get him out of there. We smacked his head up into the wall. And then EMS humor. He was dead as a doornail.
Yeah. Oh, I get. And so Akron's close to Cleveland, right?
You got Cleveland, Akron, and below that is where we live, North Canton.
Okay, yeah, I don't know much about Akron besides just I know there's a university there and stuff like that.
Smaller city, but it's crazy city.
Crazy. Oh, I bet. Yeah. I bet sometimes those small towns can be that way.
Yeah,
so, would you say working EMS life down here? I guess we'll dive into a number of things with it regarding in Tennessee. So you definitely were here during COVID.
Yes, definitely.
Did that change EMS life for you that year?
Yes, COVID. The couple of years of COVID was very different. We wore those stupid masks, people pleasers, what we call them. And turned out that those masks really didn't do a whole lot in the end. It changed EMS life because it actually made us more aware. And we always wore gloves. We're very aware. You have this new generation of EMS people who come in and they don't have all that knowledge. They don't teach them like they taught us years ago. So it did help in a way, giving people more awareness of disease and how bad it can be. Yeah. But I think it kind of changed the whole dynamic of EMS and how we treat our patients and family, not in a bad way, but in a way that people were a lot more touchy-feely, hug a family member, how you doing, which I still do.
Yeah.
Some people will not let people ride in the ambulance anymore. I will let a family member ride. It's changed a lot like that. But as far as like the job we do, I don't think so. It's the same.
Yeah.
And we're not wearing masks anymore anyway.
But would you say too that like how is it also to kind of dive deeper into like I guess this could be for any city, but it's like what where do you diagnose what's an emergency and what's a non-emergency? Like, is there a thing where you have to diagnose that, or is it just kind of dispatch like what?
No.
Yeah.
So for a COVID patient, for example, like we pick them up emergent. So I could start out picking up this COVID patient who is super, super sick, can't breathe, on a ventilator. You know, I'm cooking them up, and they might say, "Oh, they're stable in the ICU." And by the time I pick them up, you know, down at Southern Hills ICU and get them to Centennial, they've coded. They've, you know, Ray's trying to jump on you.
Yeah.
They have cardiac arrest, and some of them would die. So their lung capacity was so low. So we on that ambulance determine, is this an emergency or not? Once they're in my possession, I determine what's an emergency.
Yeah, that's what I was going to.
And if I feel like it's a problem, then we're going.
And do you say when you get like, what are some of the most serious emergencies you've seen? That this is like, not to get off the COVID thing, and like, and I'm on my show, I never talk politics, never talk religion. It's just, and me asking that just for my listeners that do regularly listen, I wanted to know your opinion because I feel like COVID was a huge year and you dealt with that. Would you say now that I feel like with like the emergencies you treated on there, what are some of the craziest things? Like, is it broken bones, heart attacks? Like, I mean, you're seeing a wide range of things.
30 years?
Yeah, some of the craziest stuff you think.
I mean, the craziest stuff I've seen. I mean, I've seen bodies cut in half. I've seen cars hit so hard that the bottom part of the car is sitting there with the torso, with the bottom part of the body, and then the other part of the car is up the road with the torso in it.
Yeah,
that's pretty tragic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, he's dead, obviously. Gunshot wounds, suicide, killings, and it's not always the gore and the gut that's tragic. The tragedy is, to me, the emotional part of it. So seeing kids dying of cancer for years in Houston, doing all the MD Anderson cancer shuffles and getting those kids around and back, that's tragic to me in an emotional state.
Do you find it easily able to detach since you've seen so much stuff that you're like, okay, I'm not going to get emotional, I have to do my job? Or do you? Yeah,
I'm not that kind of, I'm a very emotional person. I even now see things that just, I mean, because this is how I look at it. No matter what, I have a nice home, I have property, I work my ass off for it, and sometimes I'm fucking broke. Sometimes you just fucking broke.
Yeah.
But I think about that as because there's so much more out there in this world happening to people that it's really hard to complain about my situation. So being in this field for all these years has put me in the perspective of, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
And I don't like to discrunt mental health sometimes, but I run across a lot of mental, I'm so sad, I want to kill myself, I lost my boyfriend. I want to be like, snap out of it, kid.
Yeah.
Get your shit together. Get your head together. There's a way to overcome all that, because somebody out there.
Is it more young people in those situations you're seeing, or do you have?
Seeing mental health to me is a lot of teenagers up to mid 40s. It's a big range of people.
Do you have to approach those patients differently than you approach somebody that doesn't have maybe a mental episode going on?
Depends on the patient. I walk into every patient and say, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Paula. This is my partner. How you feeling today?"
So you do the same basic introduction, and then that at that point, you're like, it's ready to diagnose and determine.
Right. Then I'll determine if this patient's going to talk to me. I've been smacked in the face. I had a guy jump off. At that point, I got to determine now it's protecting me and my partner versus, if this patient wants to jump, the patient's going to jump.
Yeah.
But I approach every patient with the same attitude, because all people are the same. They all deserve to be treated the same. I've had kids in the back of my car, 19, who I'm trying to start an IV on, and they're saying, "Let me start the IV. I can do it," because they're a drug addict. Oh, I'm like, absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. You're not going to start your own IV. But that's sad to me. Yeah. If you can hit your own vein, you're so good at it because you've shot up so many times. That to me is tragic. That to me is sad.
That is, and that's something that people, the addiction it's so rampant right now, especially, and it's horrible. So would you say too that when you have these people in your ambulance and you're talking to them and stuff, are people able to make sane decisions, you find, when they're going through such situation? Do you need to always have a family member there? Do you all take ambulance people just by themselves a lot of times?
So we have what is called, if you're A&O times 4, you're alert to person, place, time, and event, and you tell me, I don't want to go. Like at a nursing home, for instance, They call me because Billy Bo has, low blood sugar.
Yeah.
I get there, Billy Bo's blood sugar is fine. Mm-hmm. He ate some pizza and some crackers. I feel good.
Yeah.
My thing to him is, look, I'm already here. I got to drive right by the hospital. Let me just check you out. Let me just take you in and check you out. Because something could happen within the next half hour.
Will every EMS worker do that, you think?
No, there's lazy people. I'm sorry, there's some lazy fucks out there.
Yeah, and that's why I want you to keep it real. Yeah.
In the 911 world and in the transfer world, which I do a lot of transfers. I don't do 911 anymore. It's too much. But they will. I have seen where 911 medics will say, okay, and they'll leave them there. And they never should have left that patient there because they're lazy and they want to go back to bed or they want to get back to lunch. Let me tell you something. You're getting paid to be here. Mm-hmm. Do your freaking job.
Exactly. Yes.
I work with people now. I've run 4 calls. Come in on duty. This is a 12-hour shift. Am I going to run all night? Look, asshole. Yeah. I've been on for. I'm a supervisor now, so I'm not on the road all the time.
Yeah.
I have an office, but I get on that road if they need me, and I'm a vent medic. And when they cry at me and whine me, I look at them and I say, "Tough it up, Buttercup."
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? Give you a rest? You've been here for 8 hours. Get out there and run a call.
Yeah.
And I know it's like a bitch, but if I'm out there doing it, I will never ask my employees to do anything that I won't do myself.
Wouldn't do, yeah.
I clean the station, I clean the toilets, take the trash out. I do everything that they do too. Mm-hmm. But that's off subject. But back to what were you saying?
Just talking about how you would, when you get the people in, it's just like, I know you have to diagnose a certain way, but it's just it's also too, it's like you also have, like you said, you have to handle an emotional status standpoint of you have to do your job, but you have to be stern, but you also have to be not like you have to draw a thin line.
You got to go back and forth. And when you do assess a patient, like when I walk in a room, I've been doing this a long time, so granted, for me, it's a lot easier. And I try to teach young people how to do this. When you walk in a room, you can do a lot of assessment, like they get back, let me start my assessment. No, when you walk in that room, can you see that patient standing? Is he laying down? Did he move his foot and itch his leg? Can he talk? Can he sit up? Is his hands equal? You can assess your patient a lot by just staring at him. And when you talk to your patient, you can assess their mental status. There are some people that are really hard to see their mental status. Like sometimes grandma will know who the president is, but she will not know that you're taking her to the hospital. She thinks you're taking her to Arby's. So there's a lot of different levels of A and O, alert and oriented times 1, 2, 3, or 4. Mm-hmm. But there's psych patients. They go now. We have psychiatric patients that go on a 6404. Called the 6404 here. Excuse me. It's called the pink slip in Ohio. It depends on where you're at. But a 6404 in Ohio and Tennessee is they have been 6404 by the state and their doctor that they must go to this mental institution. So they don't have a choice. They have to go. Mm-hmm. So if they're crazy, they're nutty. I always tell my employees, hey, if they call me and say this guy's throwing shit around the room and I'm in the back, I'm listening and I can hear the guy in the background going crazy. I'll tell the nurse, look, for the safety of my patient, your patient, and my crew, let's sedate this guy and we'll come back in a half hour. So, I don't take anybody who's going crazy.
And you have to, do you have to harness these people in? Do you have to, do you think there's a certain way you have to?
We're not supposed to use restraints against them, but in an instant, like I have a couple stories, real quick stories. One time in Tennessee, I had this very sad story. This little guy, he was 40. He was about 4 foot tall, and his brother. His brother was more, kind of real quiet. He was locked in a closet with his brother his whole life and just throwing food in there. So he was like an ape.
Holy shit.
He was literally like an ape. He would sit there. I gave him chips. He's eating the chips. He's dropping them. I'm like, whoa.
That's fucking horrible.
Yeah. So he didn't want to stay on my cot. So I would raise the cot up and unbuckle and he'd go, boing, and he'd jump off the cot like a spring. The nurse, I said, holy shit.
Yeah.
I said, look, give him some Haldol. Haldol helps level them out, calm them down. Well, I'll give him 5. I'm like, why don't you just give him 10?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you give medications, their metabolism can bypass some things and it won't even work on them.
Wow.
So she gave him 5. Okay, great. That's what she wanted to give him. So I get him on my cot and I'm talking to him and he's watching. Very, like he was an ape. Mm-hmm. That's all I can describe is almost like from the prehistoric days in a diaper. Anyway, so he's in there and I'm sitting there doing my report. And I'll sit behind my patients a lot of times when I have the ventilator and the monitor. When I have a child or a patient like that or granny who is anxious, I'll sit next to them. So I was sitting next to him this time and I'm watching him. He's watching me. He's watching my hands and everything. I'm trying to write my report and I put my head down for just a second, look at paperwork. He went snap, 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 took off all his snaps and jumped off the cot and ran to the back. And I'm like, Kathy was my partner, Kathy Hearn. She Freaking hilarious. Love her to death. Anyway, he jumps off. I'm like, Kathy's like, huh? She's up there in an Oreo driving. I'm like, pull over, Kathy. Whoa. I said, just pull the truck over. Do you need help? I'm like, I need you to help me.
Yeah.
I couldn't catch this guy. He was little but stronger than hell. Finally, I get him on the cot, and I'm getting like the Curlex, the roller gauze. And I rolled his hand, crisscross, rolled his foot, crisscross, and tied him down.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
For the safety of him and me.
Yeah, because you can't be crashing the vehicle, and then now you have more victims, and you have more issues. And so,
he's biting on the Curlex and trying to get up. He's spitting at me.
Now, do you have to document paperwork?
Everything.
So everything is so there's a shitload of paperwork involved in EMS. Like, do you find like I've talked to you before, and I've talked to Christine before, and you've told me before, like, oh, we'll do a break maybe in Parthenon or do a break with us. Do you find on your breaks you're doing paperwork, or do you find like where you're able to actually decompress? Or are you actually having to listen to the radio?
Me.
And I know I'm asking you 50,000 questions.
I listen to the radio all the time.
There's so many elements I want to get from you.
I listen to the radio all the time.
Mm.
I live by music. I love music. You know me, I sing.
Yeah.
I'm in a band now. I love music.
So do you have your radio on, but you also have your EMS like dispatch going?
Dispatch is up front. Radio's on the front.
Are you able to have a break, or do you have to break off from your break to go handle dispatch situations?
As a supervisor, I handle stuff all the time. But if I'm on the truck and there's a supervisor, I'm like, hey guys, I'm in a patient. Mm-hmm. My patient always comes first. No matter what I do, the patient comes first.
Yeah.
But I'm the kind of paramedic that when I'm in the back of the truck, if I can, which 89% of the time I can, I finish my entire run ticket before I get there.
Okay.
I like to have my paperwork finished, because once you don't finish your paperwork and you let it go and you go, you forget. Or if you have a lot of patients, you can intertwine those patients.
And you could be like, oh, I remember doing this to this patient, but you can't.
Exactly.
And so another question I got, like I said, I have 50,000 about it, because I think EMS work is phenomenal. It's life saving. So we everyone, I think, listening and me, we appreciate what you do. And I know you have to have an attitude about things. You've seen shit. You've seen change. You've dealt with stuff. So you're gonna have an attitude and environment towards things that a normal person won't. Questions that I think a lot of people ask when it comes to EMS work, and I have to ask too. And me and Christine and other people on episodes have talked about pharmaceutical life. Are you able as a EMS worker to give medicine? Or are you only able to give like ibuprofen? Like, where's your line of you able to give?
Narcotics, morphine, fentanyl.
And you're able, and so there, I don't know all that. So you're able to make the call as an EMS worker.
As a paramedic, you're able to make the call of, does this patient need pain meds? How much fentanyl am I going to give them? I always start off low. You can always give more, but you can't take it out. So that's my theory, is if someone says I'm in excruciating pain or they fractured their leg, I'll give them 50 of fentanyl, but I start low. I won't blow somebody with 100. There's people that just give them the whole dose.
Okay.
There's been episodes where people have given the whole dose, and that type of drug it depresses the respiratory system. And here you have a patient who can't breathe, and you got to start bagging them. I say start low, and there might be 80 paramedics out there who are going, nah. But I'm old school. I start low, and it's my truck, it's my ambulance. I do what I want to do. As long as I'm following my protocol says give 50 to 100. You give it 50 fine. Mm-hmm. I do it my way. I'm more of a start with the basics kind of person.
Yeah,
I'm not out there just to start blowing you up with drugs.
And I think and I think too, like you said, it's your truck. It's how you want to do it. Everybody does different things. I mean, and that's with every career. I mean, that's with any profession. I'm a project manager. You ask my boss right now, he's a project manager for another city. We're fucking night and day different, but we work well together because he does things good, I do certain things good, and we can mix. But I think also talking about partners, do you find that and we're not going to bring up any of your partners or anybody's partners, but it's like, do you find if you did have a bad partner, it can fuck you up, or can you still do your best performance even if your partner's lazy? Like,
the partners.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've been very lucky in my career to have really good partners, because I choose my partners or they choose you.
Oh, so you get to choose.
Yeah, I will tell my managers back in the past days, don't put me with someone I can't work with. Why put me with someone that doesn't do their job right or I can't mesh with? Because when you're in the back of that truck, I've had partners here, Kevin. I've had Kathy, my other partner, who she's now not working the EMS anymore. We could just look at each other and know what to do.
Okay.
So with the people, and I work with different people where I'm at now, because I'll have a supervisor partner at night. But I will pick that supervisor partner. If I see someone that's on there that I can't work with, I'll flip that person on the base truck and pull the other person down with me.
Yeah.
So it's very important to have that camaraderie. It's very important to be able to work together. It's important that your partner is knowledgeable and your partner asks questions. So, and I am not the paramedic that says you're the basic, you run all the basic calls, I run the ALS calls. You share. You trade off.
You're not a power hungry.
No,
you're
I'm
like
I'm not a para guy.
And that's what's dope about you. That even though like I'm close to you, but I think what's dope if I was outside looking in, I didn't know you from Adam. It shows that just from what you said so far in this episode that you care about your patient, but you're also willing to do everything. You're willing to do what the lowest of the lows will do, the highs of the highs, and I think that's the main thing that's important. I think when it comes to EMS work, you can do it really how anyway. And I feel like that's with any job. Like I said, I think you can do anything in any profession a certain way, but you're able to, as long as you're getting it done and you're getting it done right and things are moving forward, it's like, so be it. I think written rules for certain things. That's why nowadays there's so many unwritten rules because it's like, I want to follow from that logistics. And something else you said, which another thing besides religion and politics, I don't really discuss much in here, but like my own job, I don't get into too much details about it, but like I love my job and I am a project manager and I'm on the construction side. And it is so important, the people I work with, the crews, for my stuff to get done, people I can get along with, people I can bond. I had a guy I worked with for a few months. I told my boss straight up, I'm not working with the guy. Fuck him. Like like me and him now get along and work well together because he's not on my team division, and they realize you bring so much value to the table, Eric. Let's hear this out. Let's see the difference, right. And that made me feel good. And that's why I want to continue working in this company. But the thing about it is, it showed me how important it is to bond with those people. And now that I'm now having my crews and my team, it's just moving so much more direction. And so comfort is very huge. Now, what about attire? What do you wear as an EMS worker?
Stupid uniforms.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Is there ever a dress down day? I don't. Okay, go ahead.
I want to say one thing about partners.
Yes.
Your partner is either your work wife or your work husband. Your partner.
They know everything about you pretty much.
Yes, and that's why you bond so well and you work so well together. And when you do work with somebody, you're on a truck with someone you can't mess with. And I have been there before, like for a shift. It sucks.
Well, you also, I bet, need a partner too that's sympathetic to like needs. Like for example, you shout out to your parents if they're listening. I love your parents,
mom and dad,
wonderful people. Your dad and me, we've had good bonding sessions. So, but I think it'd be important to whoever your partner is to teach them, hey, my parents live in Mount Juliet. Hey, my daughter lives in Hendersonville. Like you get, and then they tell you, hey, well, I got a daughter here and I got a son. When you start knowing that, and it's like, hey, I got a situation, or hey, I'm going to switch it. Like, I think that's what's most important. And so how can you really have stress when your partner is sympathetic to your needs and wants? And so that's family. That's family there.
She wishes, like, I saw her wish happy EMS and tag half of my people I know in EMS are like, thanks, Christina. Like, they know her. Like, she was kind of integrated into my career because I brought her to the station.
Yeah. Shout out to Christine Hernandez, a former guest. I know she's in the backyard messing with the horses with her fiance, Jim. Shout out to Jim, but both former guests. And, Christine, I will say this, and if she listening, or I don't know if she's here right now, but thing about it is she loves what you do and she respects the hell of you. So her saying, hey, bring those EMS workers, I can tell. And that's what I've known Christine for almost 15 years now. Christine, which makes me feel old as shit, but Christine literally has always been talking you up. And I've seen you in action. I used to go to your house over in Bayview, and go over there. And the thing about it is, excuse me, drinking beer, but you basically told me it was like, you tell me stories there. And so it's always been very interesting to me. And, EMS work too, it's like, if we didn't have it, it would be a whole other world.
If we didn't have emergency response and even the transfer, we do a lot in the transfer world too. And then there's a lot of private services that run 911 in areas. But I'll tell you what, the EMS workers, paramedics, we are a different breed of people because even though we might laugh and joke, there's a lot of people in my career that have a lot of mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
They really
PTSD and stuff like that.
And just mental health, just all kinds of major issues. But
we got the dachshunds in the house. It's all good. Vibing with Sleezy is always raw, so we pick it up all. Shout out to the dachshunds. They're bonding. So
that's turkey.
Yeah.
But it's a very people think, oh, you're laughing, oh, you love your job. But what people don't understand is that job and the stuff you see over all the years, it does take a toll on you at some
100%.
point. Like I took a 6-year break from it and worked in a plasma lab, and I worked in a cardio lab and read EKGs. It does take a toll, and when the thing is, you have to know when to step back. Like I have people right now I work with that work 94 hours a week. This chick ain't doing that shit.
And I feel like
No,
you've
not
always
anymore.
been a mentally strong woman, and what's great about you in regards of you knowing when to step back, I think is huge for you. And I can tell you have been able, even though you like you said, you're an emotional person, you've been able to disconnect where you've able to separate at times. And I think too what's awesome, which we're actually Paula will be part of the Florida trip that me and Christine talked about. We're fucking excited about that. It'll be Halloween weekend, November. Me and Jim are doing the Ronald McDonald. Yeah. I literally told Christine, Jim, record on the way down, record on the way back, like recap.
We'll have my friend Kelly.
Yeah.
She's crazy Kelly, and we'll have the Tobster.
So we could do fucking three episodes in one, like going down there and going back. And the other thing too, I was talking about Florida, not to get off the EMS thing, but we've been talking, and Halloween's down there, which we're all excited. Jim's gonna be Hamburger, I'm gonna be Ronald McDonald. Paula's gonna do my makeup. Like Christine's already volunteered Paula, so
of course.
So I have all this idea. I'm gonna contact the Navarre McDonald's, do a photo shoot. Like I have this whole fucking plan. So Jim's down. Jim's already showed me his costume. I'm down here in Hendersonville, Tennessee, visiting them. So we came up to Portland to see Paula. But yeah, the Florida's gonna be a blast. And getting on that subject of bringing that up, it's like what I think has been huge for you too as well. You know when to vacation, you know when to do a trip, and that's very important for you, and that's important for me. A big reason why, I mean, everyone's family, the reason I come down here, I went to college here, but I travel so much. I at least do a trip a month, even if I can't afford it. I try to save or I'll grind to do it because it's good for my mental health. I want to see. I'm young. I want to do it. I live life to the fullest. But the thing about it is, in my profession, I'm clearly not EMS help, but I flip homes in the hood. The product, I see dead people. I find poop and shit. I find moles, roaches, rats. It's horrible. It's traumatizing. And to be honest, I live a perfect life. Like I came down here. I'm OCD as fuck. Like organizations huge to me, but like I came down here and I'm able to relax because it's like my apartment's perfect back home. My car's great. It's parked here. I got the podcast going good. Work's going good. Family friendly. Like I can't complain. Everything's positive, knock on wood, and life's good. But it's like I view it that way. But there's still stuff in my mind if I don't do a deep reflection or where I can get minor PTSD because I'm seeing this fucked up shit. So I have to come places like this.
Seeing that stuff is enough to make you crazy too.
But coming here, like your house is beautiful land, but it's like also Christine and Jim's. They might view it as, well, it's just our house. It's so refreshing because I told them, like, I came in yesterday and I got off work. I was rushing down. I wanted to get down in decent time, lake traffic because of the holiday. And I get down and literally I pulled in a car wash in Hendersonville. Of all places, a car wash. And I was like, this is fucking nice. And it was like a good vibe. And I had to watch my fucking back the whole time. And so it was just like, it feels good. It feels good to get away. Now, you feel like with you living here and even other places you've lived, you always lived in nice places. Do you feel like you really take advantage of home life to separate from EMS life?
I do because I bought this house and I lived with Toby for 3 years, and it was a blessing because I didn't pay to live there. I was able to save and buy this, and I've always wanted a home with property and an older home, and thanks to my dad and Toby, this place got remodeled. They helped me do it. And yes, when I come home, I don't think about work, even though they try to call me 1,000 times. Yeah. Because they always do. But I do. This is like a relaxation. Even though I'm always outside doing stuff, I like to be outside. I backpack. I go hiking. I'm always outside. So yeah, this is like a paradise away from work.
And that's a lesson I want everybody to listen to Vibing with Sleazy podcast. Life-work ratio is important.
Yes.
You can get negative thoughts. You can be mad. You like me taking advantage of work-life ratio, and I'm very blessed with my job to have that opportunity. That's always been me, and maybe I could be a millionaire if I didn't always do it. But the thing about it is work-life ratio has been so important to me. You have to take that step back. You have to do it for yourself.
If you don't have work-life ratio, work-life balance, whatever you want to call it, you can ruin yourself. I see people right now where I work, like, why do you go here? Why do you go here? Because I don't want to be like you. Like I'm
exactly.
I'm going with the Tobster to Maine for 8 days. Come back from that, and we're gonna go to the beach.
Some. Can you eat shellfish unlike your daughter?
Oh yeah, I all kinds of.
So lobster, you've eaten lobster on the Maine, right?
Lobster.
Oh yeah, lobster's fucking incredible.
We're gonna my best friend Lori, my best friend's dad, lives on 40 acres on the Sheepscot River.
Okay.
So there's a huge mansion house, and then there's a bunkie house where we stay. It's really nice place. But we're gonna go hike the top of Mount Katahdin this year because last year I didn't make it because my other co-partner, my friend, didn't make it to the top. So
yeah,
I'm gonna make it to the top this time. But yeah, I mean, I do that. I mean, I'm going to Colorado. My friend Kelly, that's coming to the beach. She's doing.
Shout out Kelly.
Yep, Kelly. She's going to do a nursing stint out in Colorado. So I'm gonna go out there from August 26th until September 1st, and we're gonna go hiking. There's a hot spring by her. We can go bathe.
That'd be nice.
Take a 3-hour trip to Moab, Utah. And go visit Tina, who's one of our other news friends. She's like, come over here, stay for a couple days.
Yeah, that's the best thing. When you have friends in all the places, that's the best opportunity. Like, I love having friends in different places because it's like, it's a free place to stay. It's somewhere different. And it always feels good when someone's like, come fucking visit. Like, let's do it.
Life is short. If you sit home, like, I work with people who go, I don't have time to vacation. I can't go become work. Take the time.
Take it.
If you don't take the time for yourself.
Because you can be 75 and can't bend your knee and you're like, hey, I want to, oh, that looks cool. Well, wait, I'm too fucking old now.
I'm too broke, I can't vacation. You know where I'm going next month? My friend Brandy, her mom owns 600 acres out in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love Kentucky. If I could move there, I would. Beautiful 600 acres with a lake and all that. We're going to go out there for just 3 days and 2 nights and camp.
Yeah, enjoy
yourself. Have a bonfire with 3 of us.
There's nothing, and that's a vacation, and that's things, and also too, vacation's what your opinion is. It's like everybody can do vacation a certain way, but I do agree. I think it's another lesson. Take vacation, live life to the fullest, and just do opportunities. You can get on DoorDash. Yeah, it don't have to be. So you can DoorDash and make enough money to do a weekend trip and actually have time. Like I've done, the one thing I've been blessed, especially living in Louisville, Kentucky, it's such a central hub of so much shit around. So it might not have everything in that city, but when I get out of Kentucky and go to other places, there's so much to do. So what I've always taken advantage of is doing these weekend trips where you can do so much in a 2.5 day period. It's insane if you really put your mind to it and you just kind of grind it. Like I'll go knock out this, I'll go do this, and that's where I like doing it. And that's where, like, in 2023, I did this a lot. In 2019, I want to do more weekend gigs. That's why I'm like down here and relaxing. And it feels good when you ain't got shit on your plate, you know?
Well, that's like all these screenshots you're seeing on my TV.
Yeah.
I have been to every single waterfall in Middle Tennessee. That's
for the listeners. There's beautiful mountains and beautiful waterfalls showing on the TV. It's one of the slideshows. So
all the places I've been.
All the places you've been, and it's incredible. And so that really shows.
But my point
what you
is,
like, the nature
in Middle Tennessee, you can get to a waterfall anywhere from an hour to 3 hours and spend a whole day hiking and chill in the water.
Beautiful.
That's Everglades. But you can go on a short trip. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be quick, and it could be. And if you don't decompress, you will kill yourself. You will go crazy.
Oh yeah.
I don't say kill yourself, but you will go crazy. I mean, you talk about like another part of my life is like domestic violence thing. I'm not afraid to talk about it, but
which to kind of piggyback into there. And last question, the question we didn't end about EMS before we get into that. Because I do want to talk about, Paula is a domestic violence survivor. I do want to talk about, definitely want to talk about that. I want to talk about music, different things like that. But to finish up with EMS work, we were talking about the attire. Is there ever, do you, like, so we're talking more, we got into all the EMS big logistic questions, but kind of more of the relaxation, taking like, kind of two-parter. Is there dress down days in EMS or no?
So the dress down day would be like, okay, this week was EMS week.
Yeah.
So we have EMS week t-shirts from all the hospitals and stuff like
Okay.
that. So we wear our t-shirts, but we have polos that we wear that are actually very comfortable. Supervisors have one.
More like business casual.
They're just a polo. It says supervisor or crew member. It's great.
Oh
It's
yeah,
such a
you have
sweet
an
baby.
amazing dog. I love it.
But anyway, we do dress down when we get to the station. Take off your uniform and dress down. But as far as being on the ambulance, I'm not a big advocate of shorts in EMS, I guess, unless you work in the beach. There's so many things that can on your legs. You wear a typical EMS pants, you wear a skid-proof shoe or boot, you wear either a, the polo, whatever your uniform shirt might be. I don't tuck mine in. Some people tuck them in. It's more comfortable if it's out. Hair is usually in a ponytail, but it's a casual uniform. National Fire Department just wears t-shirts and shorts or t-shirts and their BDU pants.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then one the other kind of question is there social outings you all do? Do you all try to go out and do stuff as a group, or is it just hard with the schedules of everybody working different hours and
Like the
shit?
gals that last night went to Thomas' house for a ghost hunt.
Okay, dope.
So I took 10 people from EMS that wanted to go really, really bad.
That's incredible.
Went out there. We spent the day there. The night there. We had a great time. We goofed around. We ghost hunted. We had fun.
Yeah.
Had a few drinks and hang out. Had the whole hotel to ourselves.
And that's probably a really good work rapport building with that.
People
with the
that
teams.
We like. Only the cool people.
But yeah. And to be honest, that's what my boss says. I always go out to these little bar events with my boss at work, and I was like, oh, why didn't so? We didn't want the fucking here, and I was like, and I kind of like, okay, cool, that's what the boss said. So, but
cool people,
yeah.
But yeah, going to Kentucky with Brandy and Perry, they're my work buddies.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, getting into the domestic thing, we actually, I actually was a little bit a part of the outing of that situation. I came down and was actually a spy. I was a professional spy. I went undercover. I'll never forget the kind of, before we get into the story, it's like, I just remember I'm coming down to visit Christine and Jim anyways. Christine calls. Basically, I'm in Cave City, Kentucky. That's about, for people listening, that's about an hour 15 from Christine and Jim, probably about an hour 30 to 40 to actually downtown Nashville. And I'm coming in, and I knew there were some situations going on with Paula and her, we're not going to say his name, but a former partner and not work partner, relationship partner.
The dude, the asshole.
The asshole. And we're not talking about, we're not talking about a good person. So the thing about it is, we'll just leave it at that. But I get a call from Christine, and she's like, when you come down, got a situation. I need you like undercover. We got guns on the table. We're gonna be going back and forth to different towns. We're gonna go check on my mom. Might be constable. There's gonna be a lot of shit. Jim's here. Everybody's panicking. And I'm like, oh fuck. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I always make 80% of the time, Paul. I'll tell you a secret. If I'm coming down to visit y'all, stop in the A&W root beer Cave City, get myself 1,000 root beer. It's fucking incredible. A&W root beer at an A&W restaurant on draft is a game changer. So I get the root beer. I remember I get that call. It's around that area where I'm getting my root beer. And at that point, I took a sip, and I'm like 110 down. I'm flying down to fucking Tennessee, and I'm like, we got to get this motherfucker. So I get into fucking Tennessee, and then next thing you know, I show up to Christine and Jim's. There's guns all over the table. Like, hey, we got to situate. Paul, we stay as we. So basically, what happened was, not to get too much in that situation, but it was just like, it was a domestic violence, domestic abuse situation. She had a bad partner. He had drinking issues, different things. I actually had to go undercover to a bar to see if he was maybe there or people knew. I also went to his employment job. And the funniest thing about that is we actually drove past that this morning, me and Jim, and I was like, there's the fucking AutoZone, and Jim lost it. And we're driving, and there's like a little neighborhood behind that AutoZone, and there's like a side road. Well, we parked on the side road, and we're on a hill, and our car is like looking up towards the main drag. And they dropped me off, and I walked in there, and I'm like, looking for car batteries and fucking oil. Like, the guy's like, we got to fucking, and I'm like, over here, the wrong fucking section, and they're walking around like, okay, is Tom here? Or sorry, is this fucking guy here? And I'm like, yeah. And so I know, fucking. So it's like, I don't know where I said his name, and the thing about it was the guy's like, oh no, he's not. Do you need me to call? Well, he gave me a 10% discount coupon, and I'm pulling that shit up my ass that I can't even think of. And then when I went to the bar, the funniest thing of that is I'm walking through. I'm like, I got to the car, I get to Christine Jensen. There's degenerates and they're crying. There's a man with 3 Miller Lights. Like, I've never seen that triple fisted. I was like, this is not a good vibe. Like, this is a bad man. So we had a lot of crazy shit. I'm glad we were able. The outcome of that weekend, he was able to get his stuff escorted out. He was arrested. He also, too, we were able to be there. He knew that I wasn't fucking playing. Christine wasn't playing. We don't play with Paula. So I was glad the way it worked. And to be honest, I'm glad how your life has worked now. You've always had a great life, but you have this beautiful house, property, job. Success is the best revenge. And right. You've really got to that point, and that's what's awesome. But not to get much into the situation, but being a domestic survivor, does it just for people listening so they can reflect? I mean, it changes your view on dating. It changes your view on trust. Yeah. Trust is hard, probably.
So for people, and I want to say for people out there, women out there, girls, women, you don't have to be a weak individual. You don't have, it can happen to anybody. I am a strong, my daughter always calls me a badass.
Yeah, you are. I mean, that's no bullshit. I know a lot of people say that's no bullshit.
But I love, when you love so deeply somebody, you believe, and he was a functioning alcoholic. He was a narcissist. He'd been married 3 times before, but I heard all the stories as he was the victim, you see.
And so you want to believe the person you love.
And you want to believe the person you really love. And, the first 4 years was fine, but when you started, like, you hit me, you did this, broke my arm, like you could see where it's dented. I cast it myself. I never told anybody, and bless my mom and dad, when they found out, they were like dying, because you know how my parents are.
Yeah.
So I never told anybody. I just dealt with it all by myself, thinking, oh, maybe I'll change. Maybe he can change. This guy was narcissistic. He was seeing 2 other people. He lied to them. He lied to me. And then, in the midst of all that,
he had multiple personalities. I mean, that's really what it was.
He had so many mental health issues. Not funny. And he wrote me this letter at the end. I love it. Yeah, bullshit letter. 1 month before it all happened. So that's a sick individual. And when you're dealing with someone who's hiding alcohol, who's lying, and the thing is, narcissists are not the way people always think they are. He was not possessive.
Yeah.
He was not telling me what to do. Mm. He did not call me names. He was not that kind of abuser. He was.
You didn't see it coming.
Physical abuser when he was drunk, and he would lie, and you'd call him out, he would get more pissed.
And alcohol does such a different thing to people. Now, another question with that to talk about is, like, you feel stronger after all of it, right? Is that did you feel do you feel like now you see the signs more? If you, not saying you've been with anybody like that, but anymore, or you're looking for that, but I'm saying, do you feel like you'd be able to see the signs more now, and you're kind of more aware of it?
I think I'm so jaded that any guy I meet, it's like, oh shit.
Unless you truly know him, it's like there's no really potential.
No. Yeah. I mean, my best friend Lori, I think you've met Lori. I
have. Yes.
Her husband of 26 years cheated on her with a girl they met in the Caribbean, and they were all talking that she was a good friend. That happened to Lori when my thing happened to me. So we were going through it together, which kind of helped me out. Mm-hmm. She was blown the fuck away. I think she had more trouble with hers than mine.
Well, yeah, because I think that long
26 years of marriage.
Oh yeah, I mean, shit. I went through, I went through a relationship difference of it was close to almost 4 to 5 years. Like, I was with some person in 2018, and and you're shocked by everything. You get shocked. You could be with somebody for a year. I've been shocked by people for a few months. People's behavior changes, so it does change. It does drastically, and it can happen, and it's scary, and it's different, but it's also. It's good that it does finally come to light and you're like, I'm away from that. And what would you say, just for the people listening, what would you recommend help-wise if somebody is in a situation, or do you just reach out for help? I guess the biggest thing you have to say is speak up. I mean,
I think the thing is when you're in that kind of situation, the only way you can get help is to go get help and want help. Because I can tell you, for me, I didn't want to be in that situation. Like, it was times I would come home stressed out. I was drinking, I was drunk, and let's get some cold ones. Let's get some beer. Like, fuck, man, I don't want to fucking drink. I don't even drink that much anyway. Yeah. I think when you're in that situation, you have to be ready to come out of that situation. No one's going to make you come out of the situation. I can't come to you and say, Eric, get out of that situation. And you're going to go back and say, but I love her. You cannot just take someone out.
That's why I don't talk about religions, politics, controversial stuff, because I'm not gonna be able to change anybody's mind. They're not gonna change my mind, and so there's no reason to even have those peeing contests.
That's like,
with anything. Like
my mom, she was like, "Why?" I don't know, she got really aggravated. I'm like, "Mom, you don't understand." She's like, "I don't understand how Lori." Honestly, I said, "Mom, you don't understand.
You have to put yourself in their shoes.
You've never been
there.
there.
Never been there.
You've been married to Dad. He's a great man.
Yeah, and when you have that, it is hard to see that, because when you go through anything positive, which is blessing in life, and I think that's what everybody strives for with their kids and their pets and their loved ones. It's like, you want the positives. You don't want your loved one, if you really love them, to go through anything. You want them to be like shocked when there's something bad. To be honest, what scares me, even though I'm such a positive, like, I love life, go with the flow guy, shit, nowadays I go to work, hey, the tenant got killed on our house. I know you just saw him a few days ago. I hope you're okay. Yeah, it sucks. 5 years ago, I would have been like, what? Like, I just taught what? Now it's like, not that I'm sympathetic for the tenant, but I'm just over here like, it don't faze me anymore. And when you don't see fucked up shit, it's hard for anyone to process it. So I think when you say your EMS story and you say your domestic stories and honesty stories, it's hard for people to really process, because it's like, oh fuck, I've never gone through that, and then.
Well, and the thing is, though, I was that person who said, and I knew friends growing up, I said, how the hell did that guy hit you? No guy would ever put his hands on me. That was me. Mm-hmm. And then when it happened to me, I was like, what the fuck's going on here? But, the thing is, I exercise, and that's my way of stress, like music and exercise on horses. And I was blaming a lot of the bruises on me on my horses. And Christine was like, the horses? Why are horses running in a fucking fence, Mom? You've had horses forever. So when she found out, she went fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I know, because Christine loves you, and so I'm glad it's all overcome. And so, like, anybody that is going through it, reach out to me, reach out to Paula. Paula will share contact info at the end of the podcast. If
there's any girls out there that don't know what to do and are in that situation, you can reach out to me.
And I also want to say this: any men, there's a lot of men abused.
Yes, thank you.
That's that men are used every fucking day, mentally and verbally and physically. So just remember, it happens to both parties. Don't be ashamed. You're not a bitch. You're not a pussy because don't hold it in. Reach out. I'll get you help. I don't know if I can help, but I will get you help. We can get Paula. So
there's a lot of resources.
Yeah, there's resources
in every single state. Mm-hmm. And I almost thought one day to have a podcast myself about it, to talk to women. It's just,
I think everybody that can do a podcast that can help people. That's the biggest thing with this. This is to teach people, to change people to share a story, to have fun. If it monetizes. But at the end of the day, it's more of, I want people to get that out in stories. So again, we'll share the info at the end for everybody to contact.
You are good. You don't deserve that kind of thing in your life. And you know what? If that's what a man does to you, I don't care how many times he says he loves you. He doesn't. And I will tell you, the scars run deep. I still have scars. Sometimes it never goes a day by that I don't think about it, even though it's not. And karma is a bitch, people. I will tell you, this motherfucker doesn't work. He's disabled. He still smokes and drinks. I'm surprised he ain't fucking dead. Yeah. I hate to say that, but karma's a bitch.
Yeah, and we've heard Christine Jim share me, he's gone downhill. So it just, I think at the end of the day, just treat people how you want to be treated. And also too, it's just like, if you show somebody some love, it's normal to show it back. So paranormal, we've done ghost stuff. I've had paranormal episodes. Everybody knows I love ghost hunting. I've had ghost experience and different things. So you're still doing it. Yeah. You're still liking it. Yeah. So, what do you feel like has been your most paranormal place you ever been, that you had the most experience?
Well, personally, Thomas' house, because I had a very weird experience there in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. But Octagon Hall in Franklin, Kentucky, I was touched. Yeah. Not a scary touch, but I was touched. But the experience at Thomas' house was a very odd experience. I can tell you about it real quick. It's odd. Yeah. Thomas' house is in Red Bowling Springs, Tennessee. It's one of the second most haunted places. Now,
in Tennessee?
In Tennessee. Mm-hmm. No, in the world.
In the world? Oh.
In the United States.
Okay, wow.
So you need to know that ghosts are like people. And sometimes you'll go on a ghost hunt and there will be nothing. And sometimes there'll be something. They get tired of you saying, "Hey, ghosty, ghosty."
Yeah, exactly. Because the energy, it's an energy.
But the team that I'm on is called Tenacity Paranormal, and Tenacity is meaning Tennessee from the Cherokee Indian days. It's a whole new around the guy that started it. His name is he's Indian. Anyway, long story. That's another story. I can't remember it all. I'm not really good about that history shit. But anyway, Thomas House. Long story short, was there with the team. We were investigating. Just the 6 of us had the whole place for ourselves. They were upstairs in Sarah's room investigating, and I was investigating with a lady who was there. We went downstairs. She goes, "I'm gonna run upstairs and get something out of my cooler. I'm gonna run to the bathroom." I go down to the bathroom, sitting in the bathroom, come out of the bathroom, can't find anybody. I'm calling her name, can't find her. Went up to Sarah's room, no one's in Sarah's room. Went out to the balcony. I went everywhere I could possibly go find my team. Yeah. Everywhere. So I decided, I'm gonna text Lee. I text Lee, "Where you at, Lee?" No answer. Called him. I said, "These motherfuckers are making a joke on me." I'm get rocking. And I'm like, "Where are they?" I went across the street to the old church. Nobody. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go out in my truck. I called Toby. He was riding feeders. I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He goes, "Nothing." I said, "Are you talking to me?" Kind of went through the whole thing. He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What time is it?" "Yeah, 2:00. "Hey, you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." "All right, I'll go back in and have fun, He goes, "Don't worry, they're just fucking around me." I said, "Okay." I go back in, can't find them. I'm getting scared at this point. Yeah. Okay, something's wrong. The place is, and I'm getting freaked out. I'm just gonna go back in the fucking bathroom. Yeah. Go back in the bathroom. If I dissed them, I was probably fucking have to take a shit. I don't know. So scared. I go back in the bathroom. I come out. I hear them. I go up the stairs. They're right there upstairs. And I'm like, "You son of a bitch, motherfucking beedly bleep bleep bleep." Yeah. Like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "What's wrong with y'all?" They go, "We thought you were off sleeping somewhere because you always fall asleep." Yeah. I'm like, "No, what were you doing to me? Why did you do?" They're like, "Paula's been here." I looked at Lee's phone, no messages, nothing. So in the end, we looked into time slips. So, shit. Was I in a time slip? Most likely not, because I was able to contact Toby and talk to him. Never thought about time slip. They were probably in some type of slip because they were nowhere in this vicinity where I was physically at on the phone, talking in my car, feeling stuff. They weren't there. That's insane. That is insane. So time slips, what would you say a time slip is for people listening? Is it more of just like where you get kind of in a different dimension? I think you go into a different dimension. You slip into a different type of dimension. Yeah, and that's what Jimmy's waving at you. Yeah, wait. So yeah, we'll keep it. We've been here. Hey, Jim, can I get another beer? You asked me. I can't break off, and I didn't know. I know you're checking the beans. I'm trying to be quiet. Yeah. Which no, I appreciate it. We've had the dogs bark. We've had it all. So we're keeping it natural. Live from Portland, Tennessee. So, thank you, Jim. And also, I want to shout out for seeing my soft koozie, new vocation, rehab, retrain, rehome. So help out the horses, especially the racing horses, the ones that aren't racing or retired. And I am the other half of the horse. Yes, yeah. Christine is also. This is Christine's mom, which we've mentioned, and Paula is horsewoman. So Christine's horse girl, Paula's horsewoman. And they share custody of the 2 they got, Willie and City, which they're actually right here in the backyard where we're recording. So a lot going on this podcast, and we're getting close to wrapping up because we're doing a cookout bonfire. But paranormal. The thing about it is, to kind of talk about that a little bit more. It's like, would you say that you think? This is a random opinion question. Do you think there's going to be more paranormal activity in the future? Or do you think it will stay the same? Like, I'm talking about there's more humans on Earth. There's more, like, that's always a question I've always wondered. I personally feel like paranormal is going to stay paranormal. I don't think it's going to increase in activity or decrease. I think the spirits that are here are for a reason. Some of them get stuck here. Some of them want to be here. Some of them are attached to things. I think that the spiritual activity is not like population. I feel like it's going to stay the same. I think that some spirits come for certain things and then they move on. We do home investigations. That's kind of our big thing. Well, that's where I went on with you. Right. So we went to Pulaski, and if you want to listen to my ghost experiences, go back to season 1, Sleazy Vibes with Sarah Odom. Shout out to Sarah Odom.
We share a lot of our paranormal activities. One of my, I believe it was my second episode ever. So go back, listen to it. It's about 2 hours long, and you can hear about me and Paula's investigation. So
yeah, but I think that the spirit world, I don't think it's the same as our world. It's a different world. Like this house I moved into, when I got here, long story short, there's crosses all over the wall, holy water by the door. The room upstairs, had an altar with psalms and prayers. I'm like, what's going on in this house? I almost didn't buy it, so I left it. And I got a really cool realtor, Rebecca Schaefer. Shout out to Rebecca.
Shout out Rebecca.
Mom realtor. And I didn't want to buy it. This is not weird. So I came back. I'm like, you know what? I want this house. I want it. And I came in here and I staged this house and I talked to this house for an hour. And I had someone tell me there's a woman here and she just loved the home. And I feel like when I talked to her and I told her I was going to remodel, if she's here, she's here. If she's not, she's not. She doesn't bother me. Sometimes I'll hear stuff now and then, but
I think you can clearly look at your home. It's very well kept, beautiful. You're clearly taking care of it. And if I was a ghost and I'm looking back, I just want people to take care. Not saying materialistic, but take care of the loved ones that are still there. But take care of the things and take care of the property, but also just take care of things that I cared about. It could even be. I love camels. I mean, that's random. That's my favorite animal. But like, take care of the camel. Take care of the just do good for the pets, the dogs. I want to look back and see this.
Yeah, it's a dairy farm.
Oh, okay, so, that's awesome too. So a lot of I think there's just energy in general, and I think too that with paranormal that we don't always need to be scared. I think everything gets characterized in things, and I think sometimes maybe it's a blessing to have somebody there to watch out because I think you're right. I think just like real earth, there's bad, good, and evil people. I think when it comes to paranormal, there's good and evil, and it's just kind of it's like you rather have the good.
We're
around
not the only beings here.
Yeah, exactly. It's a spiritual world. People can't. You got to process that.
And this little Ray, this sweet little dachshund I got from Tennessee Dachshund Rescue, I waited for her for months because she was so sick.
And she is a spirit. You can already tell.
And Drake, remember Drakey?
Oh yeah, recipe. Shout Drake. Love Drake.
He was my little dachshund.
First dachshund.
Yes.
Yes.
I think he sent her to me. And you see those little jingly bells that are hanging? Those are spirit bells. And I told Drake if he wanted to ring them. I had someone tell me he was watching over me. He was my protector because he would protect me from Ty a lot when Ty was getting crazy.
And he's a good dachshund.
But I feel like the spiritual world is always going to be here. I think you have to respect it, but I think it's a good thing. And you have to
see the signs too. You have to see what's sent to you.
You have to open your mind and relax to be able to accept it. Your mind's like mine. I really have to. I meditate every night, and I don't feel as long as I've done ghost hunting, which has been over 10 years. I've never seen anything demonic. I think that's just a fluke thing that you might see, but that's not the spirit world.
And I think maybe some of the things that I've seen where I've thought it went demonic or it was in a darker realm, maybe it was more on a positive realm they're trying to connect. But I feel like I've felt both. But I also do feel
you can feel dark things. But I think
the
actual devil coming with the horns and stuff.
That's a little bit far fetched.
Like I've got my Palo Santo wood in my window up there.
Yeah.
On the window.
Oh, on the window. Okay, yeah, I like that.
Got my crystals and like that. But
I've had many girls on the show that talk about crystals and different things. Paige, who's been on the show, has brought me crystals. So yeah, it's important. And the thing about me and Paula, I think with this episode, I think number one, I've realized you're gonna have to come back. The show's not done. We're gonna have to do another season 5 episode because I feel like there's so much more we can talk about, and I feel like there's gonna be so much more to come. I'm planning on doing. I know I'm still in season 4, but I'll record this through the summer, do my break again, and start season 5 next year. So I can't thank you enough, Paula, for diving into the EMS talk, the paranormal world, sharing your domestic violence story. I feel like you have so much more to even share and tell. This has been incredible, and
we need to get into cryptids. Yeah. We never even got to the cryptid I saw on the road up here. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, so there's so much, and that's why I have a lot of the same guests on because there's more to talk about. There's more stories, and me having Paula on season 4. Now you got something to look forward to season 5. Also, to kind of bring up an idea, one of the goals we're trying to do with this Florida trip is, which we mentioned earlier, record an episode, me, Christine, Jim going down, record one with the whole group when we're down there, Paula included, so everybody can listen to that, and do one on the way back, recapping the trip. And I think that'd be a fun one, and I want to call it Sleazy Vibes with Vacation, part 1, 2, and 3. and it won't be part of any seasons. Like I'll finish season 4, and it'll just be a special episode series for us to have fun with. But I think people love vacation, they love travel. That's what people watch on YouTube, and so I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a good
sing on an episode too.
Yeah,
fuck yeah. Sing a song.
Yeah, sing a song, and maybe even get the fun karaoke out. So
talk about some music.
Yeah, and
so
Paula did music, and Paula is a musician, singer, and there's tons of stuff we can talk about. So
we need a whole episode on music.
Oh, exactly. So Paula. So we're about to do the cookout bonfire. I want to thank you again for being on. You're going to be on season 5. Hopefully your friends, coworkers, family can listen to this. And I want to thank everybody for listening. But first, before I do my send off, I want Paula to share some information. How can they reach out to you?
If you want to reach out to me, you can email me. And my email is Rat Pack. Yes, that's the Rat Pack singing group, Dean Martin and his buddies from years ago. It would be ratpack1223@yahoo.com. And I'm also on Facebook, Paula Gregg/Hernandez, GREGG/Hernandez. You can reach out to me.
And reach out to Paula. She's very nice. Reach out to her if you're going through any domestic things, paranormal shit, EMS questions, if you're trying to become an EMS worker. Also music. If you want to collab, sing, like Paula does it all. Paula is a whirlwind of talent. So like I said, look forward to hearing Paula.
If you have a house that's haunted, even if it's in Kentucky or ever, my team loves, we base ourselves on home investigations, and it's free.
It's free, and so invite them up and come, and I know there's tons of people listening that have had haunted paranormal experience just from people reaching out. So I want to thank everybody for listening. Paula will definitely be back, and I can't thank her enough for letting me record here in Portland, Tennessee.
Thanks for coming to Portland, Tennessee.
Yeah, shout out to Portland, Tennessee. If you haven't been, come and visit. It's on the way in from Kentucky to Nashville. So everybody can reach out, vibingwithsleazy@gmail.com. vibingwithsleazy.com is my website. I'm still working on it. Actually, me and AJ Thomas are hoping here by June to actually have it wrapped up and finished. The shirt's sold out. So again, I want to thank everybody for showing support and love. Yeah, the shirt's sold out. So everything really has taken off. So I can't thank everybody enough for tuning in, listening around the world. Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast, Facebook, Instagram. We are going to be coming back for more episodes. So stay tuned. I got about, I think 15 to 16 more for this season. I'm going to do an episode, probably going to record it here while I'm in Tennessee when we get back to Christine Jim's tonight or tomorrow, dedicated to Sean Patrick O'Brien, one of my guests who died. He's been on my show a couple times, good friend of mine. I've shown dedication to Aaron, who passed away, so it's only right for me to do a dedication to Sean as well. So it'll be my shortest episode ever, but I'm going to get about 20 minutes in of just his story needs to be shared. And if you haven't listened, tune into the Sean Patrick O'Brien's stories. He was tragically had passed this year. But everybody, again, thank you for listening. Paula, thank you. And we are out.
Peace. Bye.